Joe Biden's top priority is to get the COVID-19 pandemic under control during his first 100 days in office. The Trump administration has only managed to vaccinate 9 million Americans, well short of its 20 million target. Mr. Biden has pledged to change that when he takes over. Kate Fisher reports.
The vaccines are here, but less than 10 million Americans have received a shot, according to the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. The president-elect says he's about to change that.
The vaccine rollout in the United States has been a dismal failure thus far.
Joe Biden says his goal is to administer 100 million shots in his first 100 days as president.
This will be one of the most challenging operational efforts we have ever undertaken as a nation. We'll have to move heaven and earth to get more people vaccinated, to create more places for them to get vaccinated, to mobilize more medical teams to get shots in people's arms, to increase vaccine supply, and to get it out the door as fast as possible.
His plan to set up mass vaccination hubs and dispatch mobile units to remote areas and to allocate $20 billion to do so.
Those are goals, and I think that they're laudable goals. But I think it's also important to recognize that he doesn't really have the executive authority to mandate any of that. I think what will be most significantly different between Joe Biden and Donald Trump is that Joe Biden recognizes the value of the federal government being the first among equals, being at the head of the table, being the convener. And nowhere is that more important than when it comes to actual logistics relative to vaccinations. I think the value of a Biden presidency is the president of the United States being the convener of state and local officials to get the job done.
But Joe Biden's challenges don't end with logistics. Not all Americans are willing to take the vaccine. Mistrust is particularly high in communities of color after historical medical abuses of black people by federal health officials.
When we surveyed our population here in the District of Columbia, we saw that rates for acceptance of the COVID-19 vaccine was as high as 90% in some populations and was as low as 60% amongst Blacks or African Americans. And what was of other concern was even when we looked at healthcare workers and essential workers who were Black or African American, the acceptance of the COVID-19 vaccine still did not move above 60%.
But health analysts are hopeful that Joe Biden will work to restore confidence in the medical system.
President-elect Biden has made clear that dealing with COVID-19, dealing with trust and confidence, dealing with inequities is a number one national priority. It is tied to his perception of U.S. national interests, and it is the top line priority.
But with a capital city in lockdown and his new house behind fences, Joe Biden has several competing priorities. There'll be no slow start to his new job. He needs to vaccinate a country while trying to unify it as lawmakers decide on the fate of his predecessor. It's likely these railings will be up for some time. Kate Fisher, CNA, Washington.